Hey BookTube, I am Sadie and I am here with my late June wrap-up. I am aware that we are into July. However, as I've recently announced pretty much everywhere, I will tell you I am pregnant. So my ability to hold thought has gone significantly down, and as has my reading. So for June, I finished 3 books. I consider that a win. July, I'm already 2 books in, so let's hope that keeps up. June appeared to be my worst reading month. Maybe it's just, I don't know. But I will now tell you what I read, and I'll give you a quick overview of some of the things I picked up, because I figure we can do a book review and a haul for June and be done relatively quickly. So, the first book I finished in June was Eileen by Otessa Moschweg, and I really wanted to like it. I really did. I had heard such good things about it from people I trust, like Chapter Stacks. I think Britta also gave it a really good review, and I knew it was character driven, but my god, so boring and slow up until the last 60 pages, which actually had things happen. And I could have cared less at that point. At that point, I was done. I don't understand the allure of it. We're following Eileen, who's a very disgusting individual, who I actually liked in the opening paragraphs, and then I just grew to hate her. Maybe you're supposed to do that, but as you're talking about vomiting and crapping, and it's just all too much. She lives with her father, who's a bit of a nutter, and I don't mean a bit of a nutter, he's bloody crazy, and she basically orchestrates this one big thing that is the entire plot of the story, so I can't really tell you, with a coworker, the only coworker she has ever felt anything towards, like friendship. And it's just messed up, and not in a good way. Like, I love a messed up book. I do. But this, I just know. I just know. If you tend to read books like me and you love a good messed up figure and you think that that's what this is, it's not. It's kind of putrid and plotty. And maybe I wanted more. It says creepy, mesmerizing, and subliminally funny in the tradition of Shirley Jackson and early Vladimir Nabokov. No. I've read We've Always Lived in the Castle. I want to read more Shirley Jackson, but this is nothing like it. This is nothing good. So that needs to go away. That's what the used bookstore is for. Then, because all pregnant women should really try and read the classics, I finished Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert. It's a big chunkin' chunker, 413 pages. Depressing. That's what this book is. It's depressing. It's the story of Madame Bovary, or rather the second Madame Bovary, because the first one dies really quickly, and just how horrible a human being she is. She takes lovers, she acts like a spoiled child, she lives above her means, she eventually ends her life. Her husband is left in wreck and ruin. Their child is eventually, all the bad things in the world happen here. It's very French. It's very classic. I liked it a lot. I think it was the wrong time of life to be reading it, perhaps, for me. But it's one where I'd be like, yeah, if you feel a vibe, if you want something depressing and classic as hell, then this is for you. Definitely for you. I think everybody knows the premise of Madame Bovary, so I'm not giving anything away. And I would read more of Flaubert. I enjoyed him. So that one was a win. Eileen was a loss. Flaubert was a win. And the last book I read in the month of June was the highly contested My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. It's book 1 of the Neapolitan novels, and it's been translated by Anne Goldstein. So I read the first book. I own all 4. I got them at different points at used bookstores and library sales. So I think I've paid a total of maybe less than $10 for all 4 of them. So this is the first book, My Brilliant Friend, where we follow our two main characters. Elena, who gets called Linu a lot, which messed me up for a while, and Lila, because if you're reading about Linu and Lila, it gets messy. But we follow their early friendship. This is book 1, Childhood is the subtitle. Childhood, adolescence. I think the second one is adolescence as well. But each one has like a subheading to tell you where you are in this. So we meet them as children and watch them go to school. They're not friends. They call each other friends, but they're not friends. They're frenemies. If you know anything about friends, these are really crappy friends. And there is no plot, but unlike Eileen, this no plot is actually just their life. Stuff happens. They grow up. We're following, this is clearly a long-term family drama. And I can see where people didn't like it, because I was just like, this is just family drama with like one really crappy person. I think Lila's just atrocious. And Linu lets herself get, Elena, however you want to say it, Linu, gets trampled on for most of her life in her childhood and adolescence, and they're competitive and they're horrible, and maybe all young girls are like that. I recall childhood was not an easy thing for me, but it's a good read. It's well written. But if you do not like long drawn out family dramas that have people you will hate and have scenarios that are just going to annoy the crap out of you, it's not for you. If you want a quick beach read, it'll involve you, but not so much that you can't put it down, then it's a good book. I'm relatively indifferent to it, but I also see it as a setup for further books. So I will continue on with book 2. I think book 2 will either make or break whether I finish the series, because if book 2 is more of the same without like some actual plot advancement, I'm gonna start feeling like it's too much of the same, because 4 books of this will drive me batty. But it was perfect for my pregnancy brain because it was easy enough that I could read it and retain it without, you know, having to be super invested. And it gave me absolutely no emotions, which was nice because I had lots of emotions during Flaubert. And yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with Lila's, what does she call it? Like thinning of the lines or something like that. Basically, she appears to have like anxiety attacks or some sort of depression episode. And I want to see how they treat that. I want to see how that plays out. But all in all, if you like long-ranging family dramas, you'll love it. If you don't, it's just a bunch of girls being mean. You may as well just watch Mean Girls and enjoy it a lot more. Again, maybe the second book picks it up and gets better, because I do see this as a setting up book. So I'll keep it for now. It's not going off yet, but if the second book sucks, then we're just homie don't play. Okay. And now we're into haul. This will probably be a 20-minute video, which isn't too bad. I got an advanced reader's copy of Melmoth by Sarah Perry, and I didn't realize that she wrote The Essex Serpent, and I didn't realize that this is somehow associated with the Essex Serpent. It's a follow-up, so I guess I have to read The Essex Serpent, which I have. So, Melmoth, Sarah Perry, advanced copy. Probably get to... I'll get to The Essex Serpent this month because I do want to read this. And then I went to the used bookstore, of course, and picked up a few things. I picked up a couple kids' books because I decided we need to start our library. But I lent those to a friend's child who actually returns things, so I have no problem with it. And I got The Egypt Game by Zelpha Keltley Snyder. What else? There were a couple of things. That one really stands out. There's a box set. Can't remember which box set, but So there are a couple kids books. I will show them to you as I get them back. And then I picked up book 2 and 3 in the Tawny Man trilogy because I have book 1. These are completely different covers, which is kind of gonna bug me, but I'll live because they were, you know, I have so much credit at the used bookstore. Like I don't even. So it's Golden Fool and Fool's Fate. Like I said, I already have the first one. These are, I think these are the old American covers. I'm not sure which cover scheme these are, but I prefer these covers to the one I have, which is the current American editions with the guy on it. But I do want to read these, and my husband is also enjoying them. He listens to them on Audible, and I read them, and then we discuss it. But we want to do the ships first, and I have the first ship book. We're reading them in order of publication. That's what we're doing. And so we got the first ships book. He's going to have to get them on Kindle or on Audible. Then I picked up, I saw this. I've been wanting to read it for a while. Probably shouldn't while I'm knocked up, but whatever. Johnny got his gun. Johnny got his gun by Dalton Trumbo. And this is about a war. Not sure which war. World War II, Korea. But the reason I want to read this is if you've seen the music video for Metallica's One, that is the movie sequences that are in there are off of this. And so I'm not sure how it plays into it, but I want to read it. And it might be weird to read right now, but it's about war. It's about a guy in war. A guy in war. Then I picked up, I saw this, I've heard a lot of good things about it. Tipping the Velvet by Sarah Water. And it's fiction, and it's about lesbians in, where is it? Where are the lesbians? It doesn't tell me. Honestly, it doesn't. It's one of these annoying ones where it's only got like the write-ups on the back, and that just annoys me. So it's like, I don't know. Steamy debut novel follows the adventures of Nan King, who begins life as an oyster girl in the provincial seaside town of Whitstable. So this is somewhere in the UK. Erotic and lush. Oh, okay. I've heard it's really good. A lot of people recommend it. I figured, hey, why not? Because I've got a bunch of Jeanette Winterson, and I enjoy her. Then I got The Death of Bernadette Left Hand by Ron Query. And this takes place in New Mexico and Arizona on an Apache reserve, and I was intrigued by it. I'm not 100% sure if the author is of Aboriginal descent or not, but I guess I'll have to look it up. I don't always believe that it matters, but it's always good to know if they are or not. It won some awards in 1994. He's from New Mexico. So, I don't really know much about what it's about. I will not read the back for you because I feel that that's rude. No, I don't feel it is rude. I do it a fair bit. I just don't want to read the whole thing because it's super... Oh, Ron Query, a member of the Choctaw Nation, paints a vivid portrait of the lives of contemporary Native Americans. Really, I'll just read anything that has Native American in it to see if it's any good. And then they had this, and it's got a bunch of used stickers, which totally annoys me, but it's The Rez Sisters, a play by Thompson Highway. And I've actually seen this play put on, which is why I picked it up. I loved the play. I saw it in high school. It was done at the Globe Theater in Regina. And Thompson Highway is, of course, a Cree man from Manitoba. Copyright 1988. and he has passed away, I believe. It's a play in 2 acts. I'm not a big fan of reading plays. Plays are not really usually my thing, but like I said, I've seen this put on. I really love it. I love Thompson Highway, so I couldn't not pick it up. It's got the big old U sticker on the side and on the back. I assume this was used for a university class. But it's a really great production if you see one put on, and if you like reading plays, then you should check it out because it is a lovely play. That's everything I picked up in June. I haven't picked up anything in July. I'm trying to curtail my buying, but of course I have lots of used bookstore credit, so I don't worry about it too much. And yeah, so far I've got 2 books read in July, so you may be looking at another short catch up in July. I do want to do a mid-year book freakout tag, which I will do, and give you some statistics once I am done doing stuff and I have some time. It's all a matter of time, because right now time is at a premium. But I hope everyone is having a great reading summer, and I hope the heat is not too bad for you. It's supposed to spike up here. It hasn't been as bad as I've seen it across the country. I think the Pacific Northwest is going to get it this week, and I am not looking forward to it. So stay cool, and I will talk to you next month.